About 3 in the morning, I wake up and I've had a leak. And I wake her up, I'm like, Bonnie, my bag's leaked. And as she turns round, I jokingly say to her, you've got a little bit of poo on your head. She looked back at me and said, oh no, you actually have got a bit of poo on your head.
That means they're a strong couple now, they stay together after that.
Hi.
And what brings you here, Rob?
I go to the toilet a lot.
So I have inflammatory bowel disease, which is also known as IBD, and this can be categorised into 2 conditions, Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. And I kind of have a combination of both.
I have ulcerative colitis.
I have Crohn's disease.
So ulcerative colitis only impacts your large intestine, whereas Crohn's disease impacts the entire digestive system.
Ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease are non-visible conditions.
Definitely not invisible when you are charging towards the toilet.
My IBD is not a completely non-visible condition because I live with a stoma. I want to introduce you to Michael.
Oh, that's cute. My gerbil was called Michael.
If I rewind back to before having a stoma, I was going to the toilet 40 to 50 times a day and it was absolutely terrible to manage. Now it's a very positive thing and I absolutely love my stoma.
Inflammatory bowel disease affects everybody differently, but we do share some common symptoms.
IBD is impacting my body in so many different ways.
Fatigue, diarrhea, loss of blood in your stools.
I've struggled a lot with my energy, so even getting out of bed in the morning is really difficult.
I have to now think about everything, like plan my routes, plan where I'm going, plan where I'm staying, what's the toilet like, is there toilets near? IBD is a severe and debilitating condition that can affect us all, so please understand that I have a lot more to contend with. So I would like to introduce you to Lucky Poo. He just brings me luck. Magic. So I had a manager when I worked in a shoe shop who was amazing. Honestly, she was the best manager, and that was before we even knew what was wrong with me, and she still didn't judge me. She just wanted, all she cared about was that I was okay and that I was healthy. I basically live on the toilet. I go about like 6, 7 times sometimes, 8 maybe.
Yeah, going to the toilet when you've got ulcerative colitis or Crohn's, it's exhausting. You could probably spend up to an hour on the toilet, be life-draining in a way. It just takes all the energy out of you.
I've had multiple occasions where I've been called out for using accessible toilets. I went to use an accessible toilet in a big supermarket and a member of staff shouted across about 6 or 7 people telling me that that is for people that have a disability. I remember being in there and being quite angry and emotional about the circumstance, and instead of retaliating because I was just really upset, I just went in and slammed the door shut.
Just have a think before you start kicking doors and banging on the door and embarrassing the poor person that's in there, that there could be something wrong.
Accessible toilets are for people with non-visible as well as visible disabilities.
I had to go and do a job at someone's house and I was supposed to be there at 8 o'clock, but I didn't arrive till 10 because I was in such a bad flare-up. I had to pull over probably 5 to 6 times just to use the toilet in the van. I was 2 hours late. And the client was very frustrated when I turned up because she wanted to go out. That has happened many a time since I've been diagnosed. I just wish people were understanding. Don't jump to conclusions.
Just because somebody looks young and healthy doesn't mean that they're not fighting battles behind closed doors just to live an everyday life like everybody else. So this is the urgent can't wait card, and it'll say please help, and it just says that the holder of this card has inflammatory bowel disease. I actually feel like quite cool that I have this card because it also lets me skip the queue in like nightclubs. So now I feel like, listen, this is my card. I need to go to the toilet.
If they show you an urgent can't wait card, please let them use your facilities. It could be the difference between someone pooing themselves or like me, my stoma bag exploding, and trust me, that's not fun.
You again?
One that stands out was when I was wearing a 3-piece suit and I needed the toilet. I showed my card, they wouldn't let me use it, and I just crapped myself. That suit is gone. Done, it's toasted.
It's the squats, isn't it? You can blow off sometimes. It is what it is, and squats give you a Beyonce bum, so I'm gonna keep squatting anyway.
I have snuck into ladies a few times, yes. Which I hate to admit, but it has happened.
My frustrations with fatigue is when people are like, oh, you know, can't you still come, or you can go home early, but they don't get that I get like really tired, then the next day I'm out of it for the whole day, and then I feel like I've wasted a day and that I haven't been productive.
I never realised how much IBD would impact my sleep. I kind of like now have to get up 2 to 3 times in the night to empty my bag.
When you're in a bad flare-up, it just seems that you're up and down all the time. It's not even just the toilet pattern, it's the achiness and the being drained and everything. It's just a vicious cycle, because then you could go home that night and it all happened again.
You have an amazing boyfriend.
Sometimes. No, joking. Sometimes. Basically, when I'd stayed around and we were still new into everything, I was still, sussing him out. And then I left and I didn't think anything of it. And then I had like a message on WhatsApp and he's like, oh, by the way, you've left your underwear here, but I'll put them in the wash for you. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, have I done anything in my underwear? Like, have I accidentally had a bit of poo in there? I don't know. Just saw it on WhatsApp. Then it came off my phone, I was like, I'm just gonna block you. And obviously I didn't in the end, after I replied like 2 days later, because I don't know what to say. I'm glad. Being mindful is so, so important, and also being supportive. My friends are very mindful. Just little things, being understanding if I have to cancel plans, not judging me for it, like, oh, she's always cancelling, or you always go home early, or you're no fun, because trust me, I'm still fun, but it's just my body's telling me no.
I used to probably have about 6 pints and a Vindaloo. So, back in the day, but no more. I go down the pub, I order a Coke, they all laugh about it. I say, why are you not drinking? I have to remind them. They go, oh, okay, yeah, no worries, mate. Still socialise, I don't use it to stop. Because I don't drink doesn't mean I can't go and see my mates, so.
There was one cafe on my way to university, which was an hour away from home and an hour to my university. I went in there one day and said, listen, I've got bowel disease, sometimes I need to stop. And I knew them so well after about 6 months, because every day I would go in there and I'd be like, morning, Karen, and I'd use the toilet, and she was like, that's fine. And then I'd go on my way again. Thanks for listening and giving us the time to tell you how we feel.
Yeah, I do actually need to go to the toilet, so if you don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, that was wonderful.
No, my pleasure.
Just leave me alone and let me go to the toilet.